Yeah, I always forget to turn on this mic. Okay. So let's say, for example, my mood board is to, I'll take your mood board for sign in page. Okay, the way you have designed. So your design is my mood board today. Okay. Few things are missing, but that can be a nice mood board. So first you have to see that what are all the components here. Okay. So what is the component? Okay, there's things you might not need here, home, about, everything that comes on a different landing page. Like before this page, there is another page which is a landing page, like advertising page for the company. But we are not going there today. We are directly jumping into the sign in page, and we'll move into the inside pages once the guy logs in, how his page looks like. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say, what are all the components here? First component is all the text field. So let's count the component. Text field, text boxes, button, one component, and then we have this is also acts like a button, but remember me is more like a selector as a component. This is for a sign up, and you are building both sign in and sign up. In sign in, you would have forget password. Um, so button, let's say text button is your component, and then you have social media is your component. Media is your component. Okay. What else component you have? This is, we are just going to use our general text. So these are not going to be part of component. Image is also not a component. We'll use a generic image and type something very nice, or not type anything at all. Okay, so these are my generic component which are going to be part of this page. Okay, so let's go here. Okay. So one part of button we already have. So we might try to use it. If this doesn't fit, we will create another part of a button which is larger than this or smaller than this. Now what else we need to create? We need to create text boxes which will fit on that specific page. Okay. So let's say we'll take a sample page here. Mm, we'll take this only, your only, then we'll, because we need it for sizing. Okay. Let's duplicate this and bring it down, and let's call it text box compo. Okay. But I did not see. Did you complete this?
Yeah, yeah. In that, I have a question towards the end. Probably once we do this, I have a question on that.
Okay, let me see. Where is it? Okay, you completed this. Okay, active right, active left,
Okay.
and this
In
is everything. Yeah, go ahead. Ask me the question.
this, or you don't, can I turn your access to edit? Um, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
have an issue.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, just a second. You change the state of that button at the bottom. Sorry, not able to see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you change the state of the button at the bottom, the submit one, the yeah, this one. If you change it to not active,
Yeah.
and probably disable the icon.
Yeah. Oh, this is coming.
Yeah, yeah, this was happening.
Yeah, because let's see. This is left. Why is this left? You
Sorry,
have to
what is
set
left?
everything to your auto layout is left.
Oh,
So let's say and see. Okay. Yeah, this has to be. You have brought it.
uh-huh.
Okay, but this should not be a problem. Why is this happening? Hmm. This should be a component. This is not a component. One mistake I see
Component.
you have done is,
Okay,
see, you have icons here.
right, right.
Did you get all the icons?
Yes, I
These are all
copied
the
the
icons, right?
whole
Okay.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
So if you go to your system design and then why, okay, why is this acting like a normal frame?
Okay.
Because if you take a actual
Mm-hmm.
icon,
Right,
let's say, yeah, because this is not able to, you are not able to change the icon from here because that is a normal frame and it should have been an icon. Okay. So let's say,
oh,
yeah, that has to be,
no, no, I
should,
didn't.
supposed to be an icon. Okay. So let's say setting or any icon I would choose directly from here
Right.
and I would bring it inside this.
Huh.
Now you can set an instance to it. This should be your icon.
Oh,
And
that extra icon, I mean, when you select I mean, when so next to button, when you selected it right now, I saw that you got that properties option on the right side in the panel,
yeah, that
which
is
was
not
not
coming.
coming when I was trying it.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is because what I do? I had to
Because
copy and
you
probably.
you got the generic icon and not a component icon. Your component icon is you can get it from asset, which is here in your icon file, but
Right.
they are all created component. See, they have different properties and you have to get them from assets. If you get them from asset, they will act like a component icon.
I got it from asset. I think I searched for AC to get that button.
AC.
Yeah, I think that snow looking icon came at that time.
This one, AC unit.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, but that see, I also, but that is still a component. But this is not a
Strange.
component. This is a generic. See, there is a difference.
Right.
This is a vector, and this is a component.
Okay.
This is a vector. You have to use a component icon to be able to do that. I
Hmm.
can do it on your behalf, but that would not help you.
What did you do? Sorry, right click and paste to replace. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am doing page to replace and then changing the color. Yeah, but I should not do this. If I do this, then you will not be able to do this.
I'll do it for the subsequent buttons now that I understood, but I still don't understand how did I copy it wrong because
Yeah,
okay,
you copied it wrong somehow.
for sure. Yeah. I yeah, okay.
I'll undo this.
Oh, it came now.
It came now. Now,
I mean,
if
this is
this has
not that.
this had applied show and hide, I'll undo this, okay? All of it.
Okay.
See, now it became properly.
Oh, yes. So it was all because I copied it the wrong type. The icon type
Yeah.
that I copied was wrong.
Not top type was right, but I don't know how did you convert it to a vector. That is not a. This has to be a component icon. Then only you can apply what you call instance properties and all the other properties. Sorry, I deleted everything because that's the way
Yeah, yeah,
to teach better.
yeah, yeah, sure. I'll do it again today.
It doesn't matter how much time it takes, but learn the right way. Okay, so this is where I was here. So first I have to create a text field. Okay, so let's say I will take your text field you have created. I'll bring it here, and from here I'll delete the button because this I'm creating it for a text field, and we are designing a white mode, right? So first let's create a text field, name it properly, a text box. So you want to create a text box like this, not with an outline, but with a background. Where is the design? Okay. Like this, with background, but not with outline. Outline will only come when there is like a property to it, like if there is some error or like if like this is active and there is some error, then only outline will come. Otherwise, we will use a text box without outline. Okay, so let's do that. So first let's check if your properties are all right. So why you're applying 24? Okay, this is very generic. Let's apply 15 here. Okay, and you have curves here. Hmm. And you have given 10 to it. Okay, so let's create a component. Okay, let's first create four different kind of uh, text boxes, and then we will convert them into a component. Okay, so this is your this has, let me see you are using the right color. So first placeholder has to be little less color, little less visible, you have to use the color you have created. So this is your first type, which is default, and this is, we will make it active. Active may you will not have complete text, you will have something like this, a cursor is highlighted, and for outline you will use our brand color, and you might hide the background, let's say. Okay, then this is active, and third option you have is
What's the shortcut that you're using to duplicate it?
control D. For Mac you can use command D.
No, no, Windows. Sure.
Yeah,
Control D.
control
Okay.
D, and then I'm using arrow to move it, up and down
Okay.
arrow to move it. Okay. Third one is you need error validation. Let's say you typed something, uh, but we have not created a color for error. So let's create a
Error.
color for error. So let's go to our variable, And error color is going to be same for both, almost same. Let's create a color for error validation. Okay, so this would be red. Let's choose a color which is very generic and nice. I'm okay with that. Whether it is whatever mode, we will use this color for error validation. Now, for this, let's delete the fill, and for outline, let's use error validation. And there is no fill here. And this is a full error text. Let's say you typed something. Text typed. And you need one more thing here. You'll have to make another auto layout of it, and then you will use error validation. You will add one more text object here. Please check the email. For an example, I'm typing, okay, not a valid email address. And I'm putting it inside this error validation layout and bringing it down. Let's align that to right. Okay, and let's make that error color.
You just selected the text and aligned it right.
Yeah, I've selected the error validation main layout. You see
Okay.
here.
And
I
then you moved
selected.
it to the right.
Then I used the auto layout and moved it to the right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's reduce this padding to 7. Now you need one more, which is once the user has typed. So once the user has typed, the only difference in these two would be that active, this is typed. And the difference would be the color of the text would be completely black. Not fill, just the text would be completely black. Let's say I'll just type my name and then contact. So we need 4 kind of text boxes to be able to validate. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's select all 4 text boxes and make them a component. And they will all, so we'll create a component set. When you create a component, sorry, not a component set, but sorry, it has to be a component set. What is happening? Yeah, it can. So when you create a okay, so I'm making it auto layout so it fits properly, and let's call it text boxes, our component set, and it has already now got 4 different kind of states. Okay, let's set it and let's name this property to states. Okay, and this is default, this is typed, this is active, and this is error validation. Let's change this text. Let's give this text properties of changing the text. Change change placeholder. Okay, place holder. Let's select this change this to type text. Add property here as well. This is different. Error text. And let's change this to error message. Now your component is created now. So let's see, text box we have created as a component, button we have created as a component. Now we need selector. Okay, so let's move it. If I do it here, I'll do it here only. Don't get confused. Last time you got confused and that went on for some time. Okay, so we will create, let's create here only. Why? Because that is part of text box only. And let's make it vertical. Okay. So we need another kind of component which will be of this size only or smaller. Let's use a text called text check box, and let's apply our property. This should be an indicator size mostly, and the color we can use is secondary. And let's use icon check box, and let's change the color to 80%. Let's duplicate this. No, let's keep it here only and make this auto layout first.
You press Shift A twice for this, what you're doing right now?
No. So I selected this. This is
Right.
already inside a auto layout. Okay. Because I duplicated this and this was a auto layout. And I deleted inside part of it and just kept created these two different parts. Now I'll select both these and press Shift A to create an auto layout. Okay.
Right.
And then I'll rename it to checkbox. Checkbox. And make it this. What do you call it? Horizontal uh, uh, direction. Sometimes, okay. I'll move this to left side.
Oh.
Okay. And I'll duplicate this and create another one which is checked. Checkbox. This is default. This is checked. Okay. And I'll change the icon to checked. There is another way you can do that, but I don't like that other way. I think checkbox. Yeah, this one. Now we have two different checkboxes, and let's also create a component set for them. Select both of them, come to this three dot, create a component set, and let's call it checkbox. Okay. Now let's bring it down. First, you need to know what all components you need to create. Okay, not every time. See, once I created the buttons, I'm going to reuse it. Once I create this, I'm going to reuse it. So you keep creating pages, but all the time you might not have to create component because you already have created them. So once I create this, I'll be able to reuse it in another pages, next to next pages. Okay. So selector, and what is a text button? Okay, that I need for what you call mm, that I need for forget password. Okay, I'll just duplicate this, and I will just remove this, and instead of checkbox, let's call it text button. And it has no property, it has nothing, it has just one property. I don't think we need anything for that, because that's a singular element. You might not need a create a component, just a text element.
Forget password.
Forget password, just a text element. It's a
Okay.
text element, so you might not need like a how much time that would see. The main reason to creating component is to not to reduce
We-
to reduce time. If you had to create this much, then it would be a problem every time. But if you just had to write one single text and just put an outline below it, then it should not be a problem, because you
Right.
already have all the style for the typography. Okay. Social media we need. So let's get our social media icons. Okay. So do we have social media in our icons? I don't think so. Let's check. No, we don't have. Okay, so what we'll do is in icons only, first we will create custom icons. Icons which are not present. Okay, so let's create social media. Let's go to plugins. Uh, I can go to Iconify. Let's go to Iconify. Let's charge Facebook. Let's bring it, drag it, bring Twitter, bring it. Make sure they are not images. See, they are vectors. They are not images. Okay. LinkedIn we need. Uh, Twitter we need. The Twitter we have. Instagram we need.
uh, Google maybe.
Google, yes. Google we need. But yeah, Google.
That's it.
Yeah, but Google is used for login, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Even yeah.
So for
Even for
login,
use.
you might use Facebook and Google, and for everything, and these you need for social media activities.
Right.
Okay.
They can also be used as login, right? I mean, to create your account, you can use maybe all of them. Do we have to show it that way? No.
So do you do? I don't know if I used to use Twitter for login long time back, but I don't think they do that anymore. But you
Okay.
still have these three as login. You can still log in. LinkedIn you do not use to log in, but you use for information.
Some of
Like
these
if you
job sites and all of that still have it, I think.
no, they don't have a login.
No?
They
Okay.
take the information from LinkedIn and then they
Right.
create an account with your email ID which is connected to LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
then we just do Google and Facebook as login.
yeah.
Okay.
So let's first align them, distribute them equally.
Yeah.
Let's check their sizes: 16, 24, 24, 24, 24. If we select all of them, make this is selected and make every one 24 because we want equal sizes. So now All of them are 24. Is this 24? And let's make sure they all are aligned. Google. Okay. So I have one confusion here. I'm just thinking about it. They can be separate icons. They don't have to be what you call set. They all can be separate icons. Create multiple components. So they are all separate icons because they don't have different properties. Com Components that you make when you have a different property of one object. Twitter, Facebook. So now you have brought all the icons here. Let's go to our system. We might not need to create component for social media because we will use them as an icon. Okay. So now let's see. Okay, now we have everything. Now let's go and start creating our page. Uh, I hate this. Why did I do this? I don't. Maybe on that day I was out of doing, my mind was somewhere else. Okay. So let's create a desktop. We will take 16 and let's bring it inside and we will create sign in page. Sign in. And first, there was a problem, right? Inside that, we will create another frame which is auto layout and we will call it container body. Let's call it body. But I had one problem. Let's see if that still exists. Body will be fill and fill and why is this too much? Okay, now we need two sections inside body. Okay, left and right, and they both are auto layout and they both have one similar property that they both are fill. This should be very easy to create, right? Because there is no issue in it. Okay. So left one, you have used image. So we'll go and select Unsplash and we will use path, road. And we'll give it a little bit of curve. Let's body give a little bit of padding, 20, 20. Let's give it curve. And I want to check something. Excluded. No, included. First on top. Okay. I'm just checking something, okay? Minus 20 if we do for this, minus 10, what will happen? This should be on top of this one. Okay. Let's use some text. So first I want to use it for my logo. FUNNEL gen. I'll make this probably center and choose a, just for the logo we might choose some funky font. And use a brand color, maybe from here. Now let's import our assets. So first thing I want to import is text boxes and duplicate it 4 times. So, oh, okay, something is a problem. This has to have a property of, you should be able to change this text. I don't know why is this, there is no property to it. Add a new property, change place holder. Okay, now let's go back. Okay, now I have it. Let's call it full name. Let's call it email address. Let's call it phone number. Let's imagine we are creating sign up page. Password and retype password. Okay. Now we have to also import a button. System design, button component. Let's import a button. And let's hide the icon and let's make this button active. Let's change this text to register. Okay. And let's put all these items which are actionable into one auto layout and call it action, or maybe text box form container. Okay, and let's make it little big. This is too slow. Let's use all our text boxes and make it fill. This is too much. Let's reduce it. Let's give it also spacing 21, 32. This is great. Okay. Now let's change different properties here to make sure we have some, maybe email ID had some error. Okay, we are still using a bigger. Okay, I can just do hug. Why do I need to? Okay. And maybe this you have already typed. So type. And this you are about to type. You were just typing. And these are, let's say, pending. Okay. So your properties are there. Now, this is my logo. What else do you need? You need box
Sign up
title.
with social.
Yeah, no, but first you need a box title, right?
Sorry, what is the box title?
Register
Ah, okay, register.
an account. Let's use smaller text. Subheading, maybe. Subheading is nice. Let's bring it inside form container. Let's give form container some padding. Maybe 2020 is nice. And let's use the color to little dull. Okay. You also had one more thing which unlock your potential. Yeah, we can use that as well. Unlock your sales potential. We'll use a bigger text for this. We'll use heading and we'll make it a brand color and maybe two line, let's say. And we might center it. Logo will not highlight that much. We'll use little smaller. And maybe it's too small. Let's go 40. And maybe we will absolute position it and we'll use it on uh, top. The padding here as well. 100. We might need this to be a little more smaller. Maybe it can be a card title. We can play a little bit of design. We can make this smaller. And we can give it like some kind of a color to see how it looks. It's taking too much. So maybe off-white 0 is too much. Let's change the background color a little bit. It's too much white. Go 60 or maybe 10. And let's bring last on top to first on top. I want to bring the image on top. Uh, let's give some image some shadow. Let's blur it 20 pixel. Let's give it a little bit of opacity 15%. Okay, 10%. Yeah, that's nicer. What if we give it a little bit of maybe curve to it, 40, and give this whole thing a little bit of more padding, this body to the top, left and right, 30. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. I was thinking, what if take the logo outside, or take the logo in the left panel. Duplicate this and call it sales. Future of sales. Let's make this our smallest font. 25 is nice. And make this black. Or a little grayish. Maybe more smaller. That's okay. Highlighting can be done later. So do you know what you were missing?
So
Hmm?
I was missing a lot of things.
A lot of things, yeah. You are missing the complete structure basically.
Yeah.
Like this structure you completely missed out. And without that, nobody would be able to code it. Okay. Let alone review the design. Okay. See, design policing you can do later, like how I'm doing right now, but your structure is also very important. So this I can see, I can have this curve, but let this other side I can leave the curve, make it like normal. So this side I can just leave the curve. So it looks like it is coming on top of it. And what if we give it a little bit of outline, just for the sake of it, and see how it looks? Maybe 30%. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look that good. Off, not of 0. 30% of 10. Yeah, it's okay. And then if you give, acha, fill is also of 10. What if we make the fill 0 and give outline to of 10? Outline, bro, outline. Outline is already of 10. Yeah. Oh, nice. It's catching up. You can see the value very, very less, but it's catching up. 2 and make it outside. Let's increase it a little bit more. 30% is nicer. Yeah. You can play with it. Dash like a traditional design. Okay. So we have already crossed the time, but few things we are missing, like login with social media, and remember me, you don't need on sign up page. Remember me, you need on sign
Login
in page,
page.
login page. Okay. So remember me is not needed here. So let's say this is your form container, and then you have uh, forget social media for now. We can do that later. But one important part we are missing here is already have an account. Let's change the color to 80%. And are we using indicator? Let's see. This is too big. What is smaller than this? 18. Button bold. Okay. And then we need a button here. We'll use the same button, but we will keep it non-active. Okay, and we'll copy it. Sign in.
Again.
Yeah. So what will happen? User who already has, and I auto layouted this part to keep it one singular auto layout. Sign in. So user who already has an account, he will be able to sign in directly. If you user who doesn't have an account, he will register. So there is a significant difference, right? You can also divide it by giving a divider, but I don't think it's needed here, because by looking at the color you would know this is less prominent and this is more prominent. Okay. So
And
this
how do
is,
you add? Yeah, sorry.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. How do you
No, no, you
add?
can complete. Then I'll ask.
No, I completed.
Oh, okay. So in assets, you previously added the icons, right?
I added these
When
I
you go to assets in the yeah, when you go to assets,
hmm.
right? So over here,
Okay, I get your question. So everything you create as a component,
uh-huh.
okay, that gets available in your asset.
Okay.
Okay, because that's a component that becomes your asset, so you can search for it. So icons are in assets, and then we created in system design page we have created two kinds of asset: button component and then text box component. In text box component we have created checkbox and we have created text boxes. So this is what we
And
have
how
created. So this
how
is,
how do I add it in?
you don't have to add it in asset. Once you create a component, they will already become
Right.
part of asset.
Oh,
Okay, so see, this has a component and this has a component. So when you go to asset, you will see in my system design page, in system design, I have two kinds of asset: button component
right.
and text component. So you will be able to see those two different kind of assets. And once you
Yeah.
drag any asset, you will be able to change their properties.
So in yours, it comes as two separate clear boxes. I mean options, right? Like for example, one was the icons, and then there was a separate one. But when I click on my
No,
assets,
no,
let's say,
in your asset also it will come like this. So, see, you are in your asset,
right?
and let's close it. You you click on this, created in this
Okay.
file, and now you
Right.
see you have
Ah, okay.
icons
I
and you
go
have system
inside that.
design. And you once you
Right.
go inside system design, you will be able to see what you have created inside system design.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it.
So next time what we'll do, we will make this button, we will create larger button we'll separate the buttons, we'll create a larger button which you can use. So we will also create a separator. So now these two buttons may look similar. Okay, so they don't need to look similar. They can be little different. So now I'll
Right.
just manually do it, but they can be little different. Now it looks better because I have readjusted it. So now everything I have created here that has a structure.
Right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, today nice. Today I think we did not have any struggle and we created a nice page. I think last time I was briefly.
We will we will redo my sign up page
Yeah, redo
in
your
this
sign.
structure.
See, the number of times you redo it, this structure will get very strong for you. And if this structure gets very strong for you, you can also learn to code. You would not believe. You would also be able to learn to code properly because in coding parameters, this structure is followed. In any parameter, this structure is followed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you again. When are you going to do the payment? Because my account has some problem and it gets cut very fast. Some loan guys they cut the amount very fast, so I need to transfer it to UPI Lite.
Do it right now while we're on call.
Okay. All right. All right. I hope you don't mind these kind of questions.
No, no.
Okay. I like it today. This looks very nice, and I think if you do this task, um, your UI will become more better.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, I never even thought about the whole structure and all that.
Yeah,
And I think what I also have done is all these texts I converted it into frames.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like unlock your sales potential, register an account. I
yeah,
converted all that to sales. Sorry, frames.
yeah. See, like I'll tell you one thing. For something like this doesn't have to be a frame. If this is inside a container and this is one text, which is not combination of two elements, that don't have to be frame or auto layout. Okay.
Right.
And if it has more element like this has more element, more than one element. That is why I need to have it in a auto layout frame. And you will see all over in my design study that let's not say never, but I always use proper naming convention.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, the,
yeah,
all these things, like for example, where you said form container,
mhm.
I would have never thought of naming it as form container because I mean, I have never seen it from that perspective. It's just sign up buttons or text fields and all that. So yeah, at least now I can think, or I at least know that I need to think in these lines. I need to know that there are certain terminologies like these.
So, see, a lot of designers still don't do it. And when they join a company and they're forced to do it, then it becomes a
Right.
problem for them.
Very
Not,
difficult, yes.
yeah, not designers from, especially from US or like, who studied at Harvard or something like that. Because in Harvard, obviously, like if you have 4 year of education, they learn like, they're tortured for this. There are only two, three institutes in the world. They torture students like I do. Is either NID. NID would teach you exactly like this that you have to structure everything properly, or either Harvard and Texas University of Design. I gave an interview to Texas University student, and I saw her like detailing, and I was like really amazed that this is how you guys have to work. And every other institutes I saw, I don't know if I showed you one sample. This guy paid around 1,50,000 to this institute to learn design, and he shared his profile with me, and I was like, dude, are you serious?
Oh, that way. Okay.
Ah. आई वॉज लाइक फ्लस्टर्ड कि मतलब 1.5 लाख रुपए बंदे ने खर्चा कर दिया 6 महीना, नॉट लाइक वन डे. It took the institute to teach everything in 6 months. You see everything and see the structure. जैसे इसका ही देख लेते हैं. See, grouping, grouping, grouping. कौन चीज कहां जा रहा है उसका कुछ पता ही नहीं. They just, I think, care about how it looks, but how when it comes to how it works, then it's gonna be a problem. And this guy will become my student. He will have to again spend 18,000 rupees. But what can you do? इतना करने के बाद भी. ठीक है. आज का क्लास कैसा लगा? थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर्ड
Like
था
I
ना?
said, मतलब I got to know हाँ और चीजें पता चली,
हम्म.
something new to think about. So
आई थिंक
it was good.
हर जॉब में तुम्हें भी करना पड़ता होगा ना ये सब कि यू हैव टू स्ट्रक्चर इट प्रॉपरली. मान लो कि तुम मैनेज भी कर रहे हो
Right.
तो यू विल हैव टू स्ट्रक्चर इट प्रॉपरली. तो सेम थिंग गोज विद डिजाइन, राइट? लाइक इफ यू आर डिजाइनिंग, व्हाई you do half work basically.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
See,
Right.
इसके डिजाइन में I can find too many faults, like this. ये spacing देख लो, ये spacing देख लो. It's too different, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And in this design you would not be able to find faults because I'm using a system. I'm not.
Right.
I'm using a system, so everything is getting automatically adjusted. Somebody would not come and say like यहाँ पे UI में प्रॉब्लम है. हो ही नहीं सकता है ना, क्योंकि मैंने उसका उसका एक ऑप्शन ही नहीं रखा है.
Yeah.
ठीक है. तो डिजाइन टोकन में वही एक और चीज, जो डिजाइन टोकन ऐड हो जाएगा ना, दैट विल हेल्प अस मोर. आई विल ऑल्सो गेट टू see. I'm doing this now. This will also become my portfolio as well, so I am also focusing like 100% इसको और अच्छे से करना है. ठीक है.
Right.
All right, Siddharth. So I'll send you the recording. Do this properly and rework on your button. Button, I'm telling you 3 times, okay? This is third time, man. Rework on your button, please.
Still don't understand how I copied it as a vector and not as an icon because I dragged it and dropped it.
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
drop it from the asset only, no? You drop it from
Correct.
the
I
asset,
took it
then
from
it.
there. Yes, I searched for checkbox. I found that. Sorry, if I searched for snowflake
Mhm,
and I found this,
mhm.
and I dragged and dropped it.
See, while you're dragging this, let's imagine
Yeah.
I'm dragging this alert icon. So when I drag
Right.
this, so you see these are getting active.
Right.
Let's say I'm dragging this, नहीं हो रहा है. ओके, आई एम ड्रैगिंग दिस आइकन. ठीक है. तो ये मेरे इसमें आ गया. अब मैं इसको जब किसी भी एलिमेंट के नजदीक में लेके जाऊंगा ना, जैसे इस एलिमेंट के नजदीक में लेके गया, तो नाउ इट इज गिविंग मी एन इंडिकेशन दैट इट विल ड्रॉप इनसाइड दिस. इट विल
Right.
ड्रॉप इनसाइड दिस. ठीक है.
Yeah.
सो if I drop here, this will go set here. And if I, let's say, if I drop here, then also it will
To the
go
left.
into, it will
Oh.
not go to completely left, because I think that is it will go to the most recommended state. Okay, I can drag it here also. Now if I drag it here, it will go to left. But एक बार मेरे ऑटो लेआउट में अगर आ गया ना, then for this auto layout I would not drag it, because it doesn't make sense. I'll just use my left and right arrow to use it.
Have to delete it. So I just have to delete it from my buttons and then re-add it or drop it once again
Yeah,
and
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, done. Okay, I will do that.
Okay.
Okay,
All
done. And
right.
I've sent the amount as well.
ओह,
Should have gone through.
बताना चाहिए था यार, वो फिर चला जाएगा उधर. ठीक है. ठीक है, चलेगा. Thank you. I'll send you the recording and also send you this.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.